Well, now down south, two migrant facilities in Texas will hold immigrants for only 72 hours before releasing people into the U.S. Senator Tom Cotton criticizing the administration's decision. Take a listen.
They literally turned detention centers that are designed to turn people away at our borders into reception centers.
Joining me now is Tom Homan. He is former acting ICE director and a Fox Business contributor. Tom, let me start with COVID risks, because this just is extraordinary when you think of the hypocrisy. On the one hand, this is an administration that really emphasizes social distancing to a point that many people find extreme. On the other hand, at the same time, they are jamming people into these centers. One center that was meant to hold 700 people is holding over 2,000 right now, according to reports that we're getting. So, if you know, on the one hand, they're super careful about COVID. On the other hand, they're treating immigrants like COVID doesn't exist.
Well, they say they're serious about COVID unless it, involves illegal immigration. Look, they want open borders. This is their number one goal. So, something as simple as COVID is not going to affect them. They already have a 6% to a 14% positive rate in southern Texas, and these families come across. And what do? They release them into the American communities. It's incompetence.
And we have to talk about the kids, because nothing pulls at the heartstrings more than the kids. First of all, who is taking these kids across the border? Or are they just walking across themselves? I mean, the kids that don't have the parents with them. What parent? I can't imagine a parent in 2021 that would allow their kid to go free across the border, as dangerous and risky as that is.
Well, that's just the point, right? They said the Trump administration was inhumane because they put children in licensed daycare facilities when their parents were prosecuted. However, tens of thousands of parents hire a criminal organization. They put their child in the arms of a criminal cartel to be smuggled in the back of a car and in the back of a tractor trailer to the United States. That is inhumane. And also, let's not forget the DNA testing, rapid DNA testing President Trump's administration did on the border. They found as high as, depending on what sector, as high as almost 30% of these families weren't even families. So these children are being trafficked. What Joe Biden's administration has done is give child traffickers, trafficking as a whole, a green light to operate. In my entire career on the border and immigration law, this is the first president in the history of our nation that's facilitating illegal immigration, that bankrolls millions to the cartel's hands every day, facilitating crime on the border. To say we're going to bring them in and release them in 72 hours, with the Ninth Circuit even says we can hold them for up to 20 days, make sure we know who they are, make sure they're healthy, make sure they can be released. No, they're even going lower than the Ninth Circuit, saying 3 days. This is just going to bring a bigger surge to the border. Instead of fixing the issue, they keep throwing more gas on the fire.
Well, and we know we had some policies during the Trump administration that were working, the stay in Mexico policy, et cetera, the walls. How does what this administration is doing compare to what Obama-Biden administration did?
It's a lot further left. Look, when President Biden won the election, I thought they'd probably go back to the priority enforcement program. I mean, I worked with Ali Mayorkas, who was deputy secretary. I worked with the White House when Joe Biden was vice president. They had some common sense about what we can do. We built family detention centers under Obama. We built more adult detention centers. We let ICE remove people who are ordered removed by an immigration judge. What this administration is not talking about, they're trying to hide. If you go to the Department of Justice website and look at immigration statistics, 88 to 90% of Central Americans who claim fear at the border never get relief from the courts because they simply don't show up or they don't qualify, and they never leave, less than 3% left. And what penalty have they got by ignoring the judge's order and hiding out? They're getting amnesty under the new Biden proposal. Even though 90% don't qualify, and they know it based on their own data, they're still going to let them in. They're still going to release them, knowing only 3% will leave in order to.
Tom, we only have 15 seconds. What is happening to ICE right now? Are the ICE agents hamstrung to get the really bad people out?
Yes, because even though they say murders and rapes are still a priority, they've done nothing about sanctuary cities. So sex offenders are going to hit the streets every day in these sanctuary cities because the Biden administration has done nothing about the sanctuary jurisdictions that refuse to cooperate with ICE.
Tom Homan, I hope, against hope perhaps, that the next time you come back you got some good news, because I didn't see much good news in that